Your US passport is basically a VIP wristband, and a lot of people still can't get past the bouncer. Because here's the part nobody says out loud. For a growing number of Black Americans, the American dream is starting to feel like a subscription service. The price keeps going up, the benefits keep shrinking, and the customer support is always, currently unavailable. Meanwhile, other places are out here running quiet recruitment campaigns for talent like it's the NBA draft. Got skills? Got experience? Cool, we've got a lane for you. And no, this isn't one of those fluffy, move abroad and all your problems evaporate fantasies. The world still has issues. But what is real is this. Multiple countries are facing labor shortages, aging populations, and skill gaps, and they're actively building pathways for international professionals, remote workers, and entrepreneurs. Translation? If you've got a marketable skill, your options might be bigger than your zip code. In this countdown, I'm breaking down the destinations where your resume can travel, where work permits actually exist for normal people, not just celebrities and CEOs, and where Black expats keep saying, wait, life can be like this? We'll talk opportunity, safety, cost of living, the paperwork traps, and the scams to avoid, because somebody has to say it. Welcome to Virtual Finance Navigator, where we uncover the hidden realities shaping how and where people live. Stick around to the end, because number one is the one most people overlook, and it might be the smartest move on the list. If you're ready, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, then drop a comment. If you could work anywhere in the world, what would you do and why? Number 10, Portugal. The soft landing that quietly turns into a life upgrade. Portugal slides in at number 10 because it's one of the few places that doesn't just tolerate newcomers with skills and income, it's built clear, usable pathways for them. Not special treatment, not we're saving a seat for you personally, but real immigration lanes that basically say, if you can support yourself and contribute, come on in. For a lot of Black Americans, especially remote workers, freelancers, and entrepreneurs, Portugal is attractive for one big reason. Your job can stay American while your life gets noticeably calmer. The country has a remote work/digital nomad option listed under its national visa types, and the financial requirement people run into is commonly framed as about 4 times Portugal's minimum wage, which lines up around €3,680 per month when the minimum wage is €920 in 2026. And here's the part your viewers will love. Portugal feels like a starter home version of Europe. You get old-world architecture, beaches, and cafe culture, without the constant sense that you're being charged a convenience fee for breathing. Lisbon and Porto have strong international communities, and you can find pockets where being a Black expat isn't some rare Pokemon sighting. It's a normal Tuesday. Now, let's keep it real, because the comments section will. Portugal isn't a press a button, receive residency situation. Paperwork is still paperwork, and Portugal's immigration system has had well-publicized delays and backlogs in recent years under AIMA, so patience is part of the packing list. Also, wages for local jobs can be lower than what Americans expect, so Portugal shines brightest when you arrive with a remote income, a portable skill set, or a plan to plug into international companies. Bottom line, Portugal is the country that says, bring your laptop, bring your patience, bring your documents in triplicate, and we'll give you sunshine, safety, and a lifestyle that feels like you finally took your foot off the gas. Number 9, Spain. The lifestyle upgrade that still expects you to prove you can pay the bills. Spain earns the number 9 spot because it's one of the clearest examples of a country saying, we like talent, and we also like it when talent shows up with a plan. It's not a special invitation for anyone. It's Spain being practical. The country wants skilled professionals and remote earners contributing to the economy, renting apartments, buying groceries, paying taxes, and generally keeping the lights on in a modern Europe that's short on workers in key areas. For Black Americans looking abroad, Spain often appeals for one simple reason. Daily life can feel more human. You get that people actually live outside culture. Cafes, plazas, late dinners, public life, without feeling like every errand is a competitive sport. And for remote workers, Spain has a telework/digital nomad visa route designed around people who work for companies outside Spain or run their own businesses, which creates a realistic lane for Americans who can keep their U.S. income while changing their environment. Now here's where Spain is both charming and slightly petty, in the way bureaucracy can be petty. Spain will absolutely welcome you. Right after you bring the correct document, in the correct format, with the correct stamp, from the correct office, during the correct hours, on a day when the office is spiritually open. The upside is, the pathway exists and it's official. The trade-off is, you'll earn your residency the way people earn a black belt, slowly, through paperwork pain and personal growth. Viewers will appreciate. Best fit: remote workers, freelancers, consultants, and anyone with a portable career. City choices: Barcelona and Madrid are the headlines, but Valencia, Malaga, Alicante, and Sevilla often win on balance. Reality check: housing pressure in the most popular cities, and language becomes more important the farther you get from big expat bubbles. Spain isn't perfect. No place is. But Spain is a strong number 9 because it offers something a lot of people are chasing: a life that feels less like a constant grind, while still giving you legal pathways to stay if your income and paperwork can keep up. Number 8, Netherlands, high pay potential, and a rulebook thicker than your winter jacket. The Netherlands comes in at number 8 because it's one of Europe's most employer-driven talent magnets. This is not the country you move to and hope the universe figures it out. The Dutch like systems. The Dutch like clarity. The Dutch like contracts. If your plan is vibes, the Netherlands will hand you a spreadsheet and politely ask you to try again. The biggest lane here is the highly skilled migrant route, which depends on a recognized sponsor, an approved employer. That sounds intimidating, but it's also straightforward. Get hired by the right company, meet the salary threshold, and the process is structured. For 2026, the Dutch Immigration Service, IND, publishes the required gross monthly salary amounts for highly skilled migrants, with different thresholds depending on age and circumstances. Why it matters for Black Americans considering a move: the Netherlands can be a strong career-first destination, especially in tech, engineering, finance, logistics, and international business, with a huge international workforce in cities like Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, and Eindhoven. It's also extremely easy to live without a car, and daily life can feel efficient in a way that makes you wonder why your old commute ever existed. But let's be real, the Netherlands can be pricey, especially housing. And because the system is strict, they've been tightening compliance around sponsor responsibilities, meaning legitimate employers are careful, and sketchy sponsorship deals should set off alarms. Best fit: people with in-demand skills who want structure and strong career mobility. Big benefit: international work culture. You're not the only newcomer. Reality check: high cost of living and intense housing competition in the hotspots. Pro move: focus on finding a real employer sponsor first. Don't chase shortcuts. The Netherlands is number 8 because it's not a fantasy destination, it's a practical destination. If you bring skills, the Netherlands brings opportunities and a calendar invite. Number 7, Ireland. English-speaking, high-demand jobs, and a housing market that tests your faith. Ireland lands at number 7 because it's one of the most accessible transition countries for Americans. Culturally familiar in many ways, English-speaking, and heavily focused on attracting skilled workers to fill gaps in its labor market. And while no country is recruiting Black Americans specifically, Ireland's employment system does have a clear signal. If you're highly skilled in the right fields, there are official pathways built for you. The headline route here is the Critical Skills Employment Permit, explicitly designed to attract highly skilled people and encourage longer-term residents. That's your clean talking point. Ireland isn't guessing, it's policy. This permit focuses on occupations where Ireland wants talent, which makes it a strong option for professionals in areas like ICT, engineering, healthcare, and other shortage fields. Why Ireland works so well as a story in your countdown. It feels like the "I can actually do this" country. You don't have to fight through a new language on day one. You can build a career, connect quickly, and the expat ecosystem is real, especially around Dublin. And Ireland's global business environment means you'll run into international companies and teams where being new isn't unusual. Now, the honest part, because your audience will respect you for saying it, Ireland's housing market is the main villain in the plot. Rent can be painful, inventory can be tight, and the perfect apartment often disappears faster than a concert ticket. So Ireland can be amazing if you plan the housing piece like it's part of the job search, not an afterthought. Talking points. Best fit, highly skilled professionals who want a smoother cultural landing. The advantage, official, talent-focused permit route. Reality check, housing and cost of living, especially Dublin. Smart strategy, secure a solid job offer and budget for housing like you're paying for a VIP upgrade. Ireland is number 7 because it's a strong blend of opportunity and familiarity, with a side of welcome to the rental Hunger Games. Number 6, Germany. They don't want your charisma, they want your qualifications. Germany is number 6 because it's one of the clearest examples of a major country building pathways to pull in more workers, not through hype, but through policy. Germany has well-known labor shortages in various sectors, and rather than pretending the problem will fix itself, it's been expanding routes for skilled professionals and job seekers. One of the most interesting tools for your audience is the Opportunity Card, Chance Card, a residence permit that allows non-EU nationals to enter Germany to seek employment. That's a huge narrative hook. You don't always need to arrive with a permanent contract in hand to start the process. Germany is basically saying, if you're qualified and you can support yourself while searching, we'll give you a structured way to do it. For Black Americans considering Germany, the appeal often comes down to stability, strong public infrastructure, predictable systems, and a culture that takes rules seriously. Germany can be a build-a-life country, not just a take photos and leave country. Cities like Berlin, Munich, Hamburg, and Frankfurt each offer a different vibe, from creative to corporate to polished and expensive. But Germany does not do chaos. Paperwork is real. Appointments matter. Deadlines matter. And outside major cities, language matters more than people want to admit. So Germany rewards preparation, credentials, recognized qualifications, and a clear job strategy. Talking points. Best fit, skilled workers, especially in tech, engineering, healthcare, and trades. Unique angle, job search pathway that's actually official. Reality check, bureaucracy plus language expectations outside big expat hubs. Retention tease, Germany is practical, but the next countries are where career branding and global prestige really start to kick in. Germany is number 6 because it's not selling dreams, it's offering systems. And sometimes, systems are the upgrade. Number 5, France. The glow-up is real, but you will earn it in paperwork. France sits at number 5 because it's one of the most intentional European countries about attracting international talent, and it says that part out loud. France has the talent passport, Passeport Talent, a multi-year residence permit created to help foreign employees and self-employed people contribute to France's economic attractiveness. That's your official foundation. France isn't doing random vibes-based immigration. It's offering structured categories for people it considers economically valuable. Why it resonates for Black Americans. France has major global cities, major industries, and major cultural influence. It's a place where career identity can expand, especially in areas like tech, design, luxury, hospitality, research, and entrepreneurship. And yes, some people also choose France because they're looking for a different relationship with public life, social culture, and daily rhythm. Now the funny truth, France welcomes you, but France also expects you to respect France, the language, the systems, that this is how we do it here, energy. If you're the type who gets irritated by forms, France will make you a stronger person. Or at least a person with a folder labeled, France Documents Final 3. Talking points. Best fit. High-skilled professionals, entrepreneurs, creatives, researchers, and people with a clear long-stay plan. Key pathway, talent passport routes, multi-year possibilities depending on category. Reality check, language is a real factor. Some professions require special conditions/recognition. Retention tease, if France is prestige with paperwork, the next one is opportunity with a rulebook and a sponsorship system you can't fake. France is number 5 because it can be a serious upgrade, but it won't let you shortcut the process. Number 4, United Kingdom. Big opportunities, big competition, and zero patience for fake sponsorship games, the UK comes in at number 4 because it remains one of the biggest global job markets for international talent, and the system is clear. If you have an eligible job offer from an approved employer, there's a legal lane to work. The flagship route is the skilled worker visa, which requires a job with a Home Office-approved sponsor and a certificate of sponsorship from that employer. For Black Americans, the UK often feels culturally familiar, language, media, and a large international population, which can make adjustment easier. London is the headline, but the UK also has strong opportunities in cities like Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, and Edinburgh depending on industry. And because the market is competitive, it's a great country for your viewers who are ambitious and career-focused. Now, the necessary warning. Because protecting your audience is part of the value, the UK has been dealing with scams around fake sponsorship and bogus jobs. The safest advice is simple: only work with legitimate employers on the official sponsor list, and never pay someone for guaranteed sponsorship. If it sounds like a backdoor, it's probably a trapdoor. Talking points. Best fit: professionals who can land an eligible job offer in a competitive market. Key concept: sponsorship plus costs is the core of the pathway. Reality check: cost of living, especially London, and intense hiring competition. Viewer trust moment: call out scams directly and tell people to stick to official routes. The UK is number 4 because it can be a major career accelerator, but it's not a place to freestyle immigration. Number 3, Canada. The America-adjacent reset with a points system that doesn't care about your feelings. Canada takes number 3 because it's one of the most structured, transparent destinations for skilled immigration. The big headline for your video is Express Entry, Canada's online system used to manage immigration applications for skilled workers, including the Federal Skilled Worker Program for people with foreign work experience who want permanent residence. And here's a clean, quotable fact that makes your script feel grounded. Under the Federal Skilled Worker Program, Canada uses selection factor points out of 100, and 67 points or higher is a key eligibility threshold to qualify for the program and enter the Express Entry pool. That's the This Is Real policy, not a TikTok rumor link. Why Canada works for Black Americans: proximity to the US, cultural familiarity, and big diverse cities where being an expat doesn't feel like you're the only one. Toronto is often the first stop in people's minds. Vancouver has the beauty factor. Calgary and Edmonton come up for affordability/value. Montreal is its own vibe, with language considerations. The honest part: Canada can be expensive in the biggest metros, winters can be intense, and competition in the Express Entry pool is real. But the strength is that it's a system, and systems are easier to plan around than randomness. Talking points. Best fit: skilled workers who want a permanent pathway and can score competitively. Key hook: points-based eligibility, 67+, plus pool ranking dynamics. Reality check: housing costs and climate. Retention tease: if Canada is structured, number 2 is structured, with sunshine and distance that makes your group chat schedule collapse. Canada is number 3 because it's one of the clearest build a future destinations on the board. Number 2, Australia. High demand for skills, high pay potential, and a flight so long it becomes a life decision. Australia is number 2 because it's one of the most deliberate talent recruiting countries outside Europe, and it uses a system that's easy to explain on camera: Skill Select. This is Australia's online system where skilled workers submit an expression of interest, and you generally need to be invited to apply for points-based visas. Australia even spells out a clean baseline. For key visas like subclasses 189, 190, and 491, you need to meet or exceed a points threshold of 65 to be invited. Now, you can also be honest with your viewers. Hitting 65 doesn't mean you'll definitely get invited. It's the floor, not the finish line. But it's still a powerful talking point because it gives people something concrete. Why Australia appeals to Black Americans: strong demand in fields like healthcare, engineering, construction, and tech, a big multicultural society, and a lifestyle that can feel like you're doing life on outdoor mode. Sydney is expensive but iconic, Melbourne is culture-heavy, Brisbane is rising, and Perth is the quiet wealth option people discover late. Reality checks. The distance is real, you're not popping back to the US for a weekend. Cost of living in major cities can be high. Licensing matters for regulated professions. Talking points. Best fit, skilled workers who can score well in points and align with in-demand occupations. System clarity, OI, points, invitation. Reality check, distance plus competition. Retention tease. Number 1 is the one people overlook, but the people who choose it often stay. Australia is number 2 because it's a serious opportunity if you treat the move like a strategy, not an impulse purchase. Number 1, New Zealand. The quiet, life upgrade destination with an employer-led pathway that rewards planning. New Zealand takes the number 1 spot because it's the country many people don't expect to be the smartest move until they learn how the work pathway functions. The core route to talk about is the Accredited Employer Work Visa, AEWV, where the job offer matters and the employer must be accredited. That's the key storytelling angle. New Zealand's system is designed to connect migrants to legitimate employers and reduce exploitation. Employers go through accreditation, and there are official mechanisms like accredited employer lists that add transparency. It's not a show up and hope country, it's a line up the offer, then move country. For Black Americans thinking about quality of life, New Zealand often shows up in the conversation because it's calmer. Less noise, less rush, more nature, and a day-to-day rhythm that can feel like someone turned down the volume on life. It's not perfect, and it's not magically free of bias. Nowhere is, but it can feel like a place where your nervous system gets to unclench a little. Now the real talk. New Zealand's job market is smaller than Canada or Australia, so strategy matters. You need to target the right employers, the right industries, and be realistic about where opportunities actually are. Immigration rules also evolve, and New Zealand has tightened parts of the EWV process over time, so you want to stay current and do everything by the book. Talking points. Best fit. People who want a calmer life and can secure a legitimate job offer. System clarity. Accredited employer plus job offer pathway. Reality check. Smaller market. Planning required. Why it's number 1. It's the build a life destination, not just a relocation flex. We are down to number 1 through the countdown. Thanks for watching. Today we covered a full spectrum, from lifestyle-friendly remote work options to sponsorship and points-based systems that reward real skills and real planning. The big takeaway is simple. No country is a fantasy land, but multiple countries have clear pathways for international talent. And if you move strategically, you can upgrade your options, your career, and your quality of life. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe to Virtual Finance Navigator, and turn on notifications, because the next videos will break down the easiest visa pathways by career, the biggest relocation mistakes, and how to avoid scams while moving abroad. And drop a comment. Which country are you considering, and what kind of work do you do?